People think I'm a sellout when I say Ghana music will never go anywhere until we put measures in place, until we take care of a few things. Last time I talked about one of the problems, which is our music is not crossing border. We need to make sure that we spread our music along the continent. We need to, conquer the continent before we even think about going outside the country. Nigerians have done that. Nigerians, they are done with that. They started it back in late 90s. That's when they started to, encroach, going into different countries in Africa. After they shut the whole continent down, then they started moving outside the country to the Western world. This is why when you talk about Afrobeat, Nigerians are the face of Afrobeat. Now, what can we do as a nation for our music to move forward? I've spoken about trying to promote our music on the other African continent, other African countries, so that we can spread our wings. Now let me talk about the second problem that we are facing. You see, in everything, right? In everything, if you are selling anything, whatever you are selling, you have to make sure that the people who will be patronizing it, they need it, they understand it, they know what, you know what I'm saying? Because they know what they're after. Now, in Ghana, most of our music is in Twi language, which is one of the most popular language in our country, which is Twi. Okay. In our country, we are about 35 million people. How many of those people don't understand the Twi language? I can say maybe about 20%. All right. So that means our music that we are doing and the language in which we are doing it in, even in our own country, some people don't understand. How many of those people are old people who don't stream, who don't follow secular music, who are just, they are old folks, they don't even follow our music? How many of them? Please give it a percentage. Maybe about 20%. Okay. How many of those people are kids who don't have access to the internet, who can't stream our music? Give it a percentage. How many of those people are Christians who don't follow secular music? So by the time you narrow everything down, you come to realize that we have a small market consuming our music. So in your own country, if you have people who don't understand the language you are using in the language you use in making your music, that means you are cutting certain people out. Come on. Now look, if you want your music to get out there, to reach as many people as possible, you have to speak a language that the majority of the people understand. You see, Nigerians use broken English, which is pidgin, and they mix it up with their own language. But majority of the music is in pidgin, which is broken English. Now, it is easier for people to to understand broken English. So they have that over us. We like to use, very few of us are using English. Jackie, Kitty, Kim Promise, very few of them. The rest of them just want to use our own Twi language, because some of our pioneers, the veterans, the moment you use the English language, they try to tell you that the moment you speak English, it is not high life. But a genre is determined by the beat, not by the language you speak. So if we want our music to get out there, I believe that most of our music has to be in English and then mix it up with our own language a bit, if we seek to reach out to the masses. Because how can you be speaking your own language, which your own language about maybe 20 million people understand it, within your own country, about 20 people understand it? So is that your only target audience? If that's your only target audience, then don't even worry about your music reaching out. I know sometimes people may fall in love with melodies and they don't care about what the artist is saying. But how many times does that happen? hip hop, R&B, rock music, all those music, they go across the globe because majority of the people understand, what do you call it, English. So it is easier for them to sing along, learn the lyrics, and vibe to it. But we Ghanaians, we don't want to use English in our language. The moment you use it, they will go on radio and be like, oh, this guy there, his music is always in English. I mean, his music is always in English. You need to use your own dialect, your own local dialect. Fine, if you want to use your own language, then don't cry about your music not reaching the larger audience. If you want to use your own language, then what we understand that, okay, this music, this guy is doing it for Ghanaians. But if you want your music to go out there and reach the masses, like the Waste Kids, like the Burna Boys, like all those people, then you have to fuse your music with mostly English. And I'm not saying that forget your own. You can still use your own language, but make sure that the chorus, that the people who don't understand your language, at least they can sing your chorus, because the chorus is the eye to the music. But we don't understand this. When we go on radio stations, instead of telling the truth and letting the people know that the only way we can go and fill these O2 arenas and all these things, there are so many factors as to why, but they don't want to discuss the factors. They don't want to discuss the problem. They don't want to discuss the solution. They only want to discuss the problem just to have a conversation to run a show. That's it. So our problem will persist till we decide to learn. Nigerians pick our language, they use it in theirs, and they sell. There's nothing. We are all Africans. What is wrong with we also learning from them? Every time Ghanaians will be like, oh, there was an era that our music was, we were doing better than the Nigerians. Our movies were doing better than Nigeria. You were doing better than Nigerians in your own country, amongst your own people. Because I don't know when Ghanaian movies or music took over the Nigerian market. So you are in your own country, in your own premises, fighting against a foreigner, and you think that is something to boast about? The time Ajako and the Lowen, their local movies were taken over, it was taken over in our own country because the Nigerians had flooded our industry with the Nigerian movies. So finally, we were able to push our, our movies to overshadow them. That happened in our own country. That is not something, yeah, you have done well by making sure that you stop the flood. But your music and your movies never crossed border or never took over their market. But they have done it severally on different parts of the continent. We need to just sit back and ask ourselves, what are these people doing right? What are the Nigerians doing right? That's what our focus should be on. Let's learn from them. Who cares about whether Nigerians came up with this or Ghanaian or Congo? No one cares about that. At the end of the day, when your music blows up and you are being interviewed, when you are asked, where are you from? You said, I'm from Ghana, West Africa. We are all Africans. Why do we always want to divide and be all, oh, we came up with high life? No one cares about that. It is about time we try to come up with a solution and stop discussing the problems all the time. That kind of act doesn't show that we want to solve the problem. It only shows that we want to have television shows and then just have a program and a topic to discuss. Let's come with solutions. You already know what the name is. My name is JB Demogo, and this is MMTV.